Okay, I think if y'all can hear me, we should be good. Can somebody say something?
Yes, we can hear you just fine.
All right, perfect. I can hear you as well. Okay, it is
Wonderful.
3:02. Apologies for getting started a little bit late. Let's go ahead and jump right into the agenda. It looks like Council Member Medina's on the call, and I believe I saw Council Member Gardner as well.
Yep, I'm here.
All right. Let's move on to the meeting minute approval, starting with June 18th. Any changes, questions, comments, concerns?
Looks good to me.
All right. I was not at the June 18th meeting, so I will abstain from approving, but it sounds like Councilmember Gardner and Medina approve. So those are approved. Moving on to July 16th meeting minutes. I was there and I don't have any changes, so I am good with approving those. Councilmember Medina.
Yes, I'm good.
All right.
I'm good.
Meeting minutes approved then. Let's keep us moving forward. Any announcements? All righty. Consent items. Seeing none, we will move to new items, starting with agenda item 5A, which is the 2025 Aurora Immigrant and Refugee Commission Annual Report. Ricardo, did you want to get this agenda item started, or do you want to pass it off to someone else to present?
Oh, thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to commend the Commission. They have been doing great work for the past year. So it's a great pleasure to introduce Samuel Greber Michael, the Chair of the Commission, and Jose Ramos, the Vice Chair, who are going to do a very short presentation today. Samuel?
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, all. Mayor Kaufman and the City of Aurora Council members. I am Samuel Greber Michael, Chair of the ARC, and I am representing the Aurora Immigrant and Refugee Commission. Our mission is simple but powerful. We work in advance, integration, equity, and representation for all immigrant and refugee communities in Aurora. That means making sure people have civic, social, and economic access to everything our city offers. When everyone can participate fully, our whole city benefits. Promoting this year, I really wanted to go beyond just having meetings. We needed to be out there meeting people where they are. We reached out to immigrants groups that are often hardest to connect with. We spread the word about city programs through trusted community networks, places where people already feel comfortable. We made sure information was available in multiple language, and we encouraged folks to take part in local initiatives, attend city events, and share their voices. We also started the year in January with a community coffee gathering at Lucy Coffee House. It was a warm, casual space where people could connect and learn about immigrant resources. On January 10th, we hosted a meet and greet with Aurora Police Department Chief Chamberlain at the Salvation Army Aurora Corps. It gave residents a chance to ask questions directly and start building trust with law enforcement. And we made a point to host our gatherings in immigrant-owned venues, supporting small businesses while also creating spaces where people feel at home. For me, belonging is more than services. It is about visibility and connections. We highlighted local immigrant-owned businesses, joined cultural festivals, and celebrated with communities all over the city. We also made new connections with groups that haven't traditionally been represented in the city conversations. Those face-to-face connections, showing up, listening, and being present have been key to building trust. So we have also worked closely with the Office of International and Immigrant Affairs to support their initiatives. This year, we reconnected with past commissioners and welcomed new leaders onto our team. We placed members on the Aurora History Museum's the Mosaic of Culture Selections Committee. So immigrant perspectives are part of how our city tells its history. So, and we have been involved in immigration education events, speaking to the public and helping to shape understanding across Aurora. In April, we hosted a meet and greet with Council Member Amsa Lukasa. It was a great opportunity to discuss how city policy impacts immigrant families. On April 23rd, we took part in the Colorado Refugee Services Program event, connecting with partners across the state. So by June, we were already involved in planning Global Fest 2025, helping with shift signups, creating our cultural table, and preparing activities to showcase Aurora's diversity. Just to give you a quick snapshot, this year we hosted 4 public community meetings. This is different from our monthly meetings, and supported over 6 immigrant-owned businesses, secured immigrant representations on city culture and historical boards. But looking forward, as a future goal, we want to expand outreach to newly arriving immigrants so they feel supported the right way. And then also we are planning to create the Aurora Immigrant and Refugee Commission resource toolkit for quick, easy access to information. Also to host quarterly community cafes. This will keep us to dialogue going on encouraging the local stores which are in Aurora. And then we are planning to launch a digital storytelling project so we can share immigrant voices and experience directly with our community. Thank you. I'm grateful for the chance to share our progress to this council members. The Aurora Migrant and Refugee Commission is here to make sure everyone, no matter where they came from, can feel welcome, included, and proud to call Aurora home. Thank you for your support in helping us make the vision a reality. Thank you all.
Thank you, Samuel. Good to connect with you and appreciate the presentation. Council Member Gardner, do you have any questions or comments?
Nothing from me, but appreciate the presentation. Thank you.
How about you, Councilmember Medina?
No, let's schedule a meeting so I can meet with you as well, and then see how I can integrate some of the groups that I'm with immigrant refugees, and make it more robust. So thank you.
Yeah, surely that will be great. We will do that.
All righty. And kind of same here. Thank you for the presentation. Always excited to see lots of good work and connections and opportunities for community and connection to happen. So thank you for sharing that. I'm excited to see what the resource toolkit looks like, and very intrigued about the digital storytelling project. I think I'd be curious to see where y'all focus on, and to learn more about that for sure. I think that can be such a powerful way of humanizing diverse communities, especially in this political climate where we see a lot of demonization and attacks towards different immigrant groups. I would just want to uplift like some particularly vulnerable communities, especially in our Venezuelan community, other immigrant communities that have uh, been targeted recently. So would love to just understand more about what that looks like.
All right, thank you.
All righty. Well, on that note, thanks again for the presentation. Open to any, if y'all have any questions for us as well. Otherwise, thanks again.
Thank you.
All righty. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. And we will move on to our next agenda item, which I believe is the public art for the Central Recreation Center exterior park. Roberta, is that you presenting?
Yes, that is
Alrighty,
me.
take us away.
Great. So I'm really excited to be here today, and thank you for your time to talk about this really wonderful project for the exterior areas around the Central Recreation Center. The area outside the center is being developed into a park and playground area. And we've been eagerly awaiting this opportunity since the rec center was built. This project is, we have $220,000 for this project out of the Public Art Reserve Fund. And this project is generating about half of that. And let's see, we developed a criteria for the RFQ in late February. And we had a huge number of applicants for this project. We had 249 applicants. So that's a lot of work for the art selection panel to wade through. They gave some criteria to the staff to help us weed out some of the unqualified applicants or lesser qualified applicants. And then they worked on the rest of it. And till we had a digestible number for our second meeting. And then at the second meeting, they wheedled it down to 4 finalists. We held a site meeting that all of the artists attended, and then the 4 finalists presented on July 21st. And Joshua Weiner, who is a Colorado artist, who was actually born in Aurora and grew up in Mission Viejo, was selected for this project. And his mother is actually a very well-known Colorado artist, Madeline Weiner, who we do have a small bench of hers in our collection. And there's also a piece of hers at the Conservatory Metro District. So the call for entry called for the artist to either sort of respond to this kinesiology theme of movement and gesture that the original artists in the rec center building developed, related to human movement, as well as the sort of on a very cosmic large level, as well as on a micro level. And Josh's work, as you see here, his piece is called For the Birds. And they're really very curvilinear shapes. There's a lot of movement and gesture to the shapes themselves. They're also very warm and inviting, and they just fit really well into the environment. They are, the largest one is a little bit larger than human scale. It's just over 7 feet. And then the smaller ones are in the 3 to 5 foot range at the highest point. And they are actually designed so that they can be sat on. So the material that he's using for the birds themselves is Colorado Yule marble, which is quarried in Marble, Colorado. It all sounds a bit redundant. And he's a very experienced stone sculptor and actually runs a summer program training younger, or no, not necessarily younger, training other people to learn how to sculpt in stone. So the beaks on the birds are planned to be made out of steel, and they will be attached with pins and epoxied into place. The pieces are really warm and whimsical and engaging. So you can see here, people, adults, children sitting on these pieces. He's showing them here on crusher fines as the base material. They are, in this case, he thought red would be a really nice color for them to sit upon, and it contrasts nicely with the grass. Because of the size and scale and weight of them, these pieces typically do not require foundations. They just require that the ground underneath them is compacted, which can happen as part of the landscaping. You can go on to the next slide. Can you, yeah, here we go. So Josh is proposing several different sites. Here you can see kind of the site plan as it exists right now. As you're coming on the right-hand side, you can see as your work would come out of this rec center on this side, there is planned to be kind of a picnic shelter. And then to the right, there's a playground area, there's a bouldering area. And then as you come down these stairs, there is kind of a great lawn. And so one potential site that he proposed for the birds is right here, they could greet people as they came down from the great lawn. And here you're on the left-hand side, you're seeing it as if you're coming out of the building, and that's what you would see. And then there are 2 other sites that he has proposed. So as you walk out across the Great Lawn or follow the pathway around, you will come to a kind of pagoda type of building. And it is intended to be a gathering place. There has been a large detention pond here. I'm thinking that, you're probably aware that there's been some controversy about this pond going away. It's going to be replaced by a mini wetland. So that's what you're seeing in the drawings here. So another potential site is between the mini wetland and the bridge, or between the pagoda and the bridge, or gazebo, and between the gazebo and the mini wetland. I think that from my more recent conversations with pros, I think they are leaning towards either one of these site solutions over the one on the Great Lawn. The idea of it being in a less manicured environment, I think, is their preference. Okay, we can go to the next slide. Okay, so here you're seeing just sort of the individual drawings of each bird from the front of each bird, and then also from one side view, so that you can get a sense of what the dimensions are for each individual bird. And the artist is explaining that he basically does all this work himself, or he hires people that work directly for him.
Hey, hello?
Yes? Hello? Okay. So he hires people that work directly for him. And we can go on to the next slide. So he does everything from working with the quarry to select his stones, to fabrication, to installation, transportation. He's directly engaged in all of that. Here you have his budget. You can see the total is $220,000. A good portion of this is an investment in the materials and transporting these materials. I can't remember how many pounds he said it was or how many tons, but each bird weighs several tons. And the smaller ones, and I think the larger one is more like, I don't know. Each bird weighs at least a ton or a ton and a half, and the larger one is 2 or 3 tons. They're big, or not so much big, they're heavy. And he is so excited to get started on this project. He wants to start right away. If he gets started right away, he will actually finish this project quite a few months before the site will actually be ready to receive it. He has no problem storing these pieces on his property in Boulder so that we don't have to pay for having them stored. The only reason we would have to pay is if we didn't have the project ready during the window in which we are saying within the contract that it would be ready. So everybody who has seen this project is just so happy and enthusiastic about it. It has engenders a sense of playfulness and whimsy and goodwill that is going to be a real contribution to this site. And I am happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Roberta, for the presentation. Councilmember Medina, any questions or comments?
No, I think she answered some of the questions on mine about the material and the weight, and so I think that's it. No, it looks good. It's definitely different, but kind of looks interactive. I kind of like it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Councilmember Gardner.
No questions. I think it looks great. Looking forward to seeing the work start and get done.
Thank you. We are too. We're so enthusiastic about it. So it's going to be fun.
Great. I mean, not too much on my end. These look super cute. Even though they're gonna be massive. Not a question not so much about like the project itself, but you know, I wonder, you know, like these things are massive and heavy. Like, is there any risks or concerns down the line with like, I don't know, the heaviness and the weight? I know you said you just needed to compact the ground a little bit, or maybe not a little bit, but you need to compact the ground. if there was like ever a need to move them, is that doable? Like, there's just so many things that you never know are gonna pop up. I'm just curious on that piece.
Sure. So those are great questions. So for one thing, he says this art, this material, it's going to be around for 500 years. So we can expect that, these pieces are going to last a long time. If we want to move it, well, for one thing, he lives in Boulder and he can come down and, relocate it for us somewhere else. In fact, in recent years, we have relocated some smaller pieces. There would of course be a cost involved in doing so, but it is possible for them to be lifted onto a flatbed truck and moved to another location. Where they are, I mean, he says they could get hit by a truck and they're not going anywhere. So it's not like they're going to topple over or anything. Of course, everything has to be engineered. So he will submit engineering drawings, which will, run through the permitting program for the city as part of the Central Recreation Center site project here.
Okay, great. I mean, I can't imagine what might happen, to need to move them, but sometimes, we reconfigure parks, for one reason or another, like, just that might be something to just be mindful of, but it sounds like that's would be possible, and obviously we'd have to pay
Yeah.
for that, but good. Okay, so no questions or concerns. Any objections with approving this item? It sounds like it just needs to be approved here at policy committee and it can move forward. So any objections from my colleagues?
None.
None for me.
Perfect, same here. Good luck and look forward to visiting these massive sculptures in the future.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to our next agenda item. I believe Scott, our museum director, will be presenting on I don't know what they're calling it, to the 250th anniversary of our country. So I'll hand it off to the Aurora Museum team.
Wonderful. Hi, everybody. Scott Williams here with the Aurora History Museum and Historic Sites. And thank you so much for requesting me to come to your meeting to give you an explanation and to talk about what the 150-250 commemoration is and also what we have planned for it as well, and to give you a little bit more information about the 150-250 commission. So first off, for those of you who don't know, so next year in 2026, the United States will mark the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, our nation's semi-quincentennial. At that same time, Colorado will mark the 150th anniversary of our entrance into the Union, our state's sesquicentennial. So, as the centennial state, Colorado is the only one in the Union that will observe 2 anniversaries. And now there won't be a quiz on what I'm about to say, but I just want to say it because I can and we can. That will be our sesquisemi-quincentennial. So say it because you can. All right. A lot of my colleagues like to say that too, and Roberta's laughing as well. So please, next slide. Thank you. So I'm going to talk a little bit about right now the commission. So the America 250, Colorado 150 Commission was established to guide Colorado's twin commemorations in ways that enable all Coloradans to participate and Aurorans. The commission encourages Coloradans from all corners of the state to really undertake diverse, imaginative efforts to remember our shared past and imagine a unified future. I think that's some of the language that you'll find if you want to go and visit this website that I have on this slide. The commission also encourages members to create opportunities to commemorate. I think that's the big word here to remember, is that commemorate, but also celebrate Colorado's stories. The commission is committed to recognizing our shared history that includes experiences of all who have called Colorado home. So, so bringing that back to Aurora, so the Aurora History Museum and Historic Sites and the Art in Public Places program, I know Roberta's on the line here, is part of the statewide commission. We're representing the Library and Cultural Services Department, but of course we're representing the city. And there are frequent meetings, online meetings that I know Roberta's attended, I've attended. So we definitely have a voice within the state. Next slide, please. So on this slide, you'll see this community toolkit. And really, the commission is committed to creating opportunities for all of us in the state to participate, again, in the commemoration, but through various signature initiatives identified. The aim is really to engage communities and engage Aurora with historic preservation efforts, really these public experiences that we can bring, education programs, family activities. And of course, these will honor our shared history and hopefully inspire future generations. I know I was about 2 years old in 1976 for the bicentennial, so I don't really remember that. I've read a lot about it, but this is as big as when the 200th we had. But in addition, the commission has again provided this community toolkit. You're welcome to take a look at it. We have utilized that. I know Roberta's looked at it, so you can take a look at that as well. Next slide, please. So what's happening here in Aurora? I think that everybody's kind of waiting for that. I know in this in the packet for your meeting, I do have a more list that I attached. So if you can't see that well on the screen, you can always go back to the list that I attached. But I want to touch on a few of the items, the events, programs, and exhibits that we have planned for next year's commemoration. And first off, you may already know that the Art in Public Places program under Roberta, they will have a public art installation in the Mission Viejo neighborhood, which is wonderful. And if you want really some more detailed information, you can talk to Roberta about that. But I also wanted to touch on some of the exhibits because I feel like bringing people to the museum and bringing people from all over the state to Aurora to really take a look at what Aurora's part in our state's history and our nation's history is. And really in this next year's exhibit, we have basically a 150, 250 history exhibition, but we're interweaving all of the history of Aurora that's significant to the 150th. Also, we have additional exhibits on schedule that speak to Aurora's Black history. And that's a partnership through the Museum of Boulder. We partnered with them. There's actually 7 other institutions that this will be traveling. But what's nice about this is that we're actually working with some of the folks at the Boulder Museum, but really we're working with our community here, Aurora's Black community, to make sure that we highlight that history. So it's not just Colorado's, it's Aurora's Black history too. So we're very, very excited about that. We're also partnering with our Indigenous friends, regional friends, the Northern Arapaho, with the Wind River Reservation up in Wyoming, also the Cheyenne and Southern Arapaho tribes on an interpretive sign project from a landmark, a local landmark that was made in 2023 out at the Aurora Reservoir. There's high significance for their communities, and so we plan on having a big ceremony next year. Actually, some of that will be done this year in anticipation for next year. One of the other things that I really want to underscore too is landmarking. Our landmark program. We definitely have some landmarks, local historic landmarks that we really want to touch on. We're being very active right now, but we're also going to participate in a World War II American Heritage City through the National Park Service. So you can only have one city or cities that are contiguous, one of the eligibilities for that in each state. And so we feel like we've already talked with Lakewood and Denver and their historic preservation programs. And we'd like to have Aurora, of course, with the World War II significance. And we feel like that's very commemorative to this momentous event as well. So all of these will be part of a digital passport that's really being run by the state. And so therefore, if people traveling through Colorado will be on the map, and all of these events will be on the map, and they can go see the public art, and they can come to the museum and participate in the events. Also, there will be a statewide calendar too with the website that I showed, and of course, we'll be marketing this big time with the Library and Cultural Services. There will also be discussions, and there are some discussions that have already been going on with Parks, Recreation, and Open Space Department for next year's 4th of July celebration, and working with the mayor for the potential of presenting a proclamation of sorts before the fireworks, and to make that really a standout event commemorating the occasion for everyone, and so that everybody understands that. Next slide, please. Okay, so I'm just going to go through a couple things about how you can get involved. I think, first off, and this is not in the order on the slide, but you can connect with us directly here, with me, honestly, with Roberta or Library and Cultural Services. We're kind of leading this for the department. And so you can always contact us if some of these things strike a chord, or you feel like you can interact on some of these. Please just contact me. That's or any of the staff here. The other thing is just to get on the newsletter. So if you have folks in your wards or community groups that want to get involved. Also, I wanted to talk about the funding opportunities that the commission has set up with. So it's called the Aligned Giving Program. And so the commission has partnered with the Anschutz Foundation, the Daniels Fund, El Pomar Foundation, the Betcher Foundation, Gates Family, and Adolf Coors to collectively put together about $5 million to support these projects. And so there's 3 funding cycles, and you bet your bottom dollar that the Aurora History Museum and Historic Sites has submitted and will be submitting more grants to support that funding. When there's money on the table, we definitely want to take that, especially for 2026. So if you need more information about that, I'd be happy to share with that. So there's definitely ways to get involved with this big year that's coming up. Next slide, please. So, okay. Again, what's next? You can expect to see everybody in Aurora and the state can expect a growing number of all these public programs getting onto that digital passport and those community events, so that we can really get the word out. Some of these signature initiatives involve one of the things that I'm looking at too for the that hopefully the commission can bring to some of the communities is the potential of a statewide drone shows. I know that we have Buckley Air Space Force Base right next to us, so that might require a lot of coordination. So, but there'll be other events that hopefully that really follow those signature initiatives, and so those things we'll be looking at as well. You can always contribute to any of the exhibits events too, and then also if you want to talk to the commission at History Colorado, you can contact Katie Roach. She's the director of that commission, the America 250 and Colorado 150 as well. So if you're looking for some more information on that. So in closing, next slide, please. In closing, you know, we're very excited because we're history. We're the History Museum, and so these are the times that the commemoration of our nation, but the commemoration of Aurora's history is huge. And so we really are excited, and I think we have some really poignant, but also really educational and exciting things planned for next year. So I'm also available to provide 250, 150 presentations to, again, your respective wards, stakeholders, community groups, whatever you'd like, if you wish. And I think we're okay on time. If you have any questions, I can answer a couple of them if time allows, or you can contact me directly. Thank you very much for the opportunity to give you this information.
Thank you, Scott, for the presentation. I'll get us kicked off. Looking forward to seeing the good work that y'all put together. Excited to hear we're pursuing some external funding opportunities. Oh man, I was listening to you like describe the intention of the purpose of this exhibit, and I couldn't help but feel lots of concern and tension, not with this particular project, but the state of things in our country, right? Just yesterday, CNN, NPR, Wall Street Journal releasing, information that the Trump administration is basically going into the Smithsonian Museum and archives and essentially rewriting history in his preferred image in preparation for our 250th anniversary. And it just had me reflecting how critical and important it is to be factual, unbiased, and step away from authoritarianism and this like quasi dictatorship that we're in. And I think education is an equalizer in that regard. So aside from my soapbox there, like I just felt a lot of that tension, just knowing the attacks and threats we have in our democracy right now. What does that look like on a local level? I know we are a nonpartisan body, so that like when we talk about Black history, I mean, it's, to put it lightly, not nice. So if we're gonna be, like what is that balance between like having a celebratory, kind of undertone, but also being real and honest and factual about history, especially when it comes to different racial and ethnic groups, especially in Aurora. Please help me out here.
No, thank you so much for that question, Crystal. And I was actually glad that you brought it up, because it is the 800-pound elephant, gorilla, whatever you want to say. I just feel like at this point there's a couple things. I said commemoration, and I think that's an important word that I think that my colleagues across the board with local municipal museums and History Colorado across the state, I mean, we're committed to working with the communities that might not be so flattered, happy about, frankly, our nation's history and Colorado's history. So I feel like we've made a concerted effort to ensure that their voices will come through the work that is presented here, and that is not brushed aside. I think the other thing that we really are concerned, if you look at the list of exhibits, events, those types of things, working with our indigenous friends, and I can honestly say that over the last 4 years that we've really made an intention to reach out to those communities that are in state and mostly out of state, that called this place home. Or, you know, so I feel like at this point, yes, there is a balance, and you definitely hit that on the nose. But I also feel like letting we are a municipal museum. If you look at our mission statement, that's to, you know, interpret and foster pride with the entire community. So so I feel like with that mission, that's what we're looking at for this 250, 150, and moving forward. There's other events and other you know, auxiliary types of events that are going on as well, that I think will help bring that into more of a commemoration type of feel. But you know, our 250 150 exhibit here will be factual. I mean, with the history that we know, you know, and with the community voices that we have. So I think that's a large discussion, uh, uh, Councilman Murillo, and I think that it's one that needs to, you know, to be had. But I do feel like working with our community partners, we're going to have a very strong and commemorative, you know, 2026 moving forward. So hopefully that answers some of your questions, and I know we could talk about that more.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate your response. I mean, I can't believe we're have to have this conversation, but here we are. And I know that's not an easy balance to strike, but I do feel very, very firmly that um, history, talking about our history, the most respectful way to honor our history is to tell the truth. Um, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And sometimes that's not pretty, and sometimes that's hard to reconcile, but it would be a disservice to the slave labor that built this country, the descendants of these communities, to the, you know, our indigenous communities that were literally massacred on in this land, in Colorado, and and all the countless other racial and ethnic groups that have been exploited or taken advantage of or killed, etc. And also recognize like how much progress we've also made, and maybe how much farther we have to go. So yeah, thank you for that. And I don't know if you were here for the first presentation from um, the Immigrant and Refugee commission, but they're also hoping to start a digital storytelling project to uplift the voices of immigrants. So might be an opportunity to infuse or collaborate on kind of uplifting those narratives, humanizing people's lived experiences, and humanizing groups that are different than us. With, you know, 160 languages in our schools, like there's many stories to tell and many perspectives and vantage points.
One quick point though, on our list too, and we've been doing this for almost 10 years now, and you may be aware that our Mosaic of Cultures exhibit series is largely focused exactly to your point, and really we've worked with the Office of International and Immigrant Affairs with that community liaison, and we too have we're building a very large oral history archive that's available to the public. So there's a lot of resources in archive and our collections here that we're trying to really get the word out. And so I think that in building that, I definitely agree with you on that. And everyone at the Office of International Immigrant Affairs there, they really are partners, and we utilize that, especially living here and working here and serving the communities in Aurora.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love the Mosaic of Cultures exhibit. My understanding, right? It's a different community that we focus on um, each time the exhibit. I don't know if it's annually cycles out.
It's every
Um,
2 years, so we can
every two
build that.
years.
Yeah.
So, at 160, just from a language standpoint, you can see how that might
Yeah.
take some time. So it might just be an opportunity to maybe diversify that record, that oral record, which is so culturally relevant to so many cultures.
Mhm.
Maybe just a little bit sooner than X
We
number of
got
years it will take.
we got other initiatives, so besides just Mosaic Cultures, with that in mind. So we'll keep you updated on
Perfect.
that.
Sounds good. So yeah, I didn't really have any questions, just felt really heavy, and like I needed to express some of those concerns, and I'm really glad to hear that we're aware and mindful of that. Councilmember Medina, any questions or comments?
No, it all looks good, and I like the variety of different activities and events that are happening. And yeah, just to kind of piggyback too, yeah, I'd like to see, yeah, when we can get you at our town hall. So connect with me and we'll see if we can get you next month or the following month in October. So I'd like to get it out so that more people have opportunity to know about it. So thank you.
Will do, and also we'll get our historic preservation specialist involved as well. Got some things going on in landmarks in your ward as well. Thank you.
Councilmember Gardner.
Nothing for me. Thanks for the presentation.
Thank you very much.
And yeah, just open invitation to join a future Ward 1 town hall as well.
Will do. Thank you so much.
Alrighty, thank you for the presentation. Have a good rest of your evening.
You too.
I guess afternoon, evening, you know what I mean. Alrighty, let us transition to our next agenda item, the Triple Creek Trailhead Public Art. Who is our presenter? Is it whoever our presenter is? Please feel free to take it away.
Hello, my name's Ian Guerra. I'm the Public Art Assistant for AIPP. I just wanted to say thank you for having me on this call. It's really a privilege here. I just wanted to kind of jump into the public art proposal here for the Triple Creek Trailhead. Just so to provide some context here. In regards to the site, the city of Aurora opened the Triple Creek Trailhead in 2019, connecting the Highland Canal and Sand Creek Regional Greenway. It's named after the convergence of the Cole, Senac, and Sand Creeks. So the Triple Creek Corridor Project adds 14 miles of interconnected trails and open space, linking to the 71-mile Highland Canal. While the trailhead initially included parking and a vault toilet, the city is partnering with the Highland Canal Conservancy to advance plans for additional amenities, including circulation paths, gathering spaces, planting, and a bike skills course scheduled for installation in 2026, along with interpretive and wayfinding signage. The city is seeking a sculpture or art installation to add to this community asset. Within our initial RFQ, we had an emphasis on reflecting the natural environment and trail convergence, celebrating the prairie landscape, encouraging community engagement, and placing emphasis on accessibility for park visitors. Probably go to the next slide here. Okay, so out of all of these, I can kind of go over the art selection panel here. So the art selection panel consisted of Mayor Pro Tem and council member from Ward 2, Steve Sundberg, 3 art and public places commissioners, representatives from the Highland Canal Conservancy, Parks and Rec and Open Spaces, and the Sand Creek Regional Greenway, as well as an artist and a community member who lives in the area. I believe in total we had 70 applicants initially apply. This was a regional open call, so this took place in Colorado and then the surrounding states that touched Colorado as well. From there, on June 2nd, 3 finalists were selected and asked to create specific proposals for the site. And on June 20th, there was a site visit to the trailhead where for the artists. And on August 4th, the art selection panel reviewed the proposals and selected a design. The Arts and Public Places Commission that approved this on August 6th. So that final proposal. So I just wanted to go over Connected Species by Joe Norman. He was the selected proposal by the art selection panel. So in his letter of interest, Joe essentially explains that he believes the trailhead will be an impactful context for sculpture, particularly in a nature-based gateway for Aurora's diverse and urban population, right? His career was focused on the intersection of art, the natural world, and community, and believes that it's a powerful opportunity to combine the three. He's been focusing on handmade, site-specific sculptures, my apologies. And he really likes to explore the intersection of natural and built environments. He has a studio out in Loveland, and a lot of his work is informed by wildlife. So it's pretty cool. So when we're looking at those three sculptures, they're fairly distinct. They are going to be placed across the landscape to kind of demonstrate the local Colorado wildlife. Right here, we see animals as the red-tailed hawk, and this is the greenback cutthroat trout. So as you're walking around the sculpture, you're going to see essentially two different images, and there's kind of a level of interactivity that you're seeing as you're walking across. And with these three sculptures in total, there's going to be a good level of interaction and visibility there. If you see the sort of height there, it's going to come in at 11 feet. So I would say that it's at a higher level of visibility. However, with the colors, you're going to get, it's not going to pop out too much where it's a distraction from the road. Next slide, please. You'll also see the coyote and trout sculpture as well. And then next slide. And then the coyote and hawk as well. So there's a kind of interconnectivity there. When we're looking at sculpture location, we're going to see that kind of largest sculpture is going to be on a sort of like a large hill with surrounding landscaping. The one with the hawk is going to be closer to the parking lot, and then the one with the coyote is going to be closer to that sort of bike trail area. So next slide, please. Thank you. And there's a visual description of where they're going to be placed. And then next slide, please. So when we're looking at the process and timeline, Joe said that his plans were going to be to have the sculpture installed within fall of 2026, which is consistent with the construction timeline there, and it should be within Q4. So, yeah. And then we're looking at materials and maintenance. I would say that the main material that's being used will be painted Core-10 steel with a essentially a UV coat, which will help prevent from discoloration. And Core-10 is a little bit more cost effective than stainless steel and has a good shelf life, if we're going to describe that. It's usually 40 to 100 plus years, kind of depending on how it's maintained. So yeah, there we are. Kind of move there. When we're looking at budget, he stays within his $80,000 that was allocated to this project. It was earmarked by the Art and Public Places Commission, and it comes from our reserve fund. And I think we should be all set on that front. So, yeah, do we have any questions in regards to the project?
Councilmember Murillo step off.
Looks like she might have. I don't see her in the list.
I don't have any questions, but yeah, it looks like a good project and in a good location. So thank you. Councilmember Gardner.
Same, no questions, but thanks for the presentation.
Okay, well, thank you for having me on. It's very much appreciated.
Move on the agenda to the next items, which is.
All right. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. The internet just went out in my building, so it took me a minute to get back on. Yeah. So thank you for taking that over.
Sure.
Any miscellaneous items for consideration?
None today from staff.
Alrighty, thank you. And it looks like we don't yet have our agenda for next month.
Correct. We are still formulating, Councilmember Murillo.
Okay, perfect. Then our last item will be to approve, or I guess check in on the next meeting date and time, which is September 17th at 3 p.m. Does that still work for everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, it still works for me. I have the Aurora Sister Cities Board meeting right at 4. So I will need to jump off a little early unless we have a shorter agenda, then there should be no conflict, but want to make sure that I'm able to attend that. Okie dokie. We are adjourned. Enjoy the rest of your day and we'll see you next month.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.